Mark, 4 minutes until airtime here on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 3 minutes until airtime. Mark, 3 minutes until airtime on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue comes with 2 minutes until airtime. Mark, 2 minutes until airtime here on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 1 minute until airtime. Mark, network stations, we are 1 minute until airtime on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Studios, please start your archive recording. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues during today's broadcast, please call the Appalachian State Studio Hotline at area code 336-831-0827. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime. Mark, 30 seconds until airtime. Once again, stations, if you encounter any issues during the broadcast, please call the App State Studio Hotline at 336-831-0827. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Appalachian Sports Network.
This is Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge and hosted at River Street Ale House on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield. Your weekly inside scoop on App State basketball. Mountaineer Talk is also brought to you by Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, the official soft drink of your App State Mountaineers. And by UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward together. Now, to get things started, here's your host, Matt Present.
Welcome to Mountaineer Talk. Thanks so much for joining us here at River Street Ale House or wherever you might be watching or listening to us. Final show of the year So happy you've joined us all throughout this spring, talking App State basketball. And today, a little App State wrestling for the first time, but we're kicking off the show with the men's basketball team and Chris Mantis alongside to start it. If you want to reach any of our guests here tonight, you can tweet us using the hashtag Mountaineer Talk or email the show, mountaineertalk@gmail.com. You can also text us, 828-295-2063. All right, Chris, it's been a few days, but I'm sure you've been thinking a lot about Friday night as you reflect on that moment, climbing the ladder, snipping down the nets in front of the home crowd. What memories will stick with you beyond this week?
Well, first of all, I just want to shout out those three guys that made Sunbelt honors, Don, Terrence, and Trayvon. I want to shout out Jelly for Defensive Player of the Year and Coach Kerns for Coach of the Year. Those are all big-time awards. And, cutting down the nets, I've never done that before. I've never really won anything like that before in my basketball career, but it's something I'll always remember, and, I'm glad to share it with these guys.
Doing it at home in front of that crowd, I'm sure was really special, and we set an attendance record this season. There have been some really big crowds, another big one on Friday night, over 7,000. Just describe the energy that's been in that building this year.
Couldn't do without them. The energy they bring, the support they bring night in and night out. Even before the season started, they had faith in us, and we fed off their energy. And like you said, 7,000 is hard to come on the road and beat us in that gym, and we're playing so well, and our crowd's energy is so great. And my first 2 years it was not like that, and I think having a good team is important, but also having a good home court advantage is also important.
You talked about the fact that you had never won something of this magnitude. But I would imagine that seeing this team in 2021 win the Sun Belt tournament the year before you got on campus was motivating in terms of helping you set goals for yourself and this team.
Of course. I remember that like it was yesterday. I was sitting on my couch, and I actually just got done coming back from a high school thing. So watching them celebrate on the court with the confetti falling, and seeing the guys go on Instagram Live and celebrating, that's something I'll always remember, and obviously I want to be a part of that, which is why I came here in the first place, was to win a championship.
Speaking of your high school basketball career, Indiana high school basketball is no joke. What was kind of the pinnacle outside of obviously vying for a state title, but what were those big games and those big moments that you played for when you were in high school?
Even at a young age, freshman year of high school, my last game was sold out. I don't think we sold out that gym in a very long time. Our football team went to state, so they were getting their rings, and obviously we wanted to do the same thing and follow up their lead. It was just so hard trying to win even a sectional in Indiana because, 4A is the max it goes, and we're a 4A school that's pretty small. And, I tried for 4 years. We all tried for 4 years to, cut down any nets. And, first time doing it Friday was something I'll always remember.
Question here on Facebook Live from Neil. He wants to know who's been your biggest influence throughout your basketball career.
I would say not one specific person. I would say my family, but if I were to narrow it down to one person, it would be my brother, since he's the one that kind of started this from the ground up, and him being 4 years older than me was always something I looked up to. Seeing him in the newspaper when I was in elementary school and middle school was like, I want to be like him, and I want to do those things. And he kind of passed the torch along when I got older, and he kind of started to stop playing.
How old were you when you beat him one-on-one for the first time?
We were always super close, and we were competitive, but there was no beef really outside of that. Like, we would play, but it was never like I'm beating you or you're beating me. It was, let's get better, and let's move this thing forward. We never fought either. We have a bond that not a lot of brothers and sisters have, and so when we'd shoot in the backyard or we'd go to the gym and play, it was never like we're gonna fight after. It was just like, let's get better and let's get out of here, and let's keep doing what we do.
You talk about your relationship with your brother, and I would imagine that you've talked about this season and the closeness that you feel with this team. How would you describe kind of being able to identify the chemistry with this group and what makes it unique?
It's good to have one brother at home, but I got 15 brothers here, and that's all that matters. I can go to anyone at any time. Doesn't matter what I want to talk about, basketball, life in general, school. You can just always lean on someone's shoulder on this team, and I think that's why we're so successful, in the classroom and on the court.
You talk about your family being an important part of your career and your life, and I know they travel here to Boone to watch you play and see you a lot on the road. How special was it earlier this season in the MAC Sunbelt Challenge to be able to go to NIU and play as close to home in college as you've played throughout your career? And you had a pretty good game that day, too.
I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity just to, go back home. And I think I had about 70 or 80 tickets, family, friends that came out to support me that, 3 p.m. on a Saturday in November, people are pretty busy. So for them to come out and watch me play just one game, I mean, it's like an hour and 30-minute drive from where I live and where I'm from. It was super special, and I'm very thankful to have those people in my life that are supporting me back home. Being 10 hours away, it was a big change for me, and being able to see them and play in front of them in the New Jersey meant a lot.
Talk about your season so far. There have been ups, there have been downs. What is the mentality that you carry as a shooter that no matter the highs or lows, trying to consistently bring the same effort and energy every single game?
I mean, before the season even started, we all kind of had our one word for the year, and mine was growth. So there's always room for improvement. There's always room to, make changes. And like you said, ups and downs, it doesn't matter. I just want to stay consistent and keep growing, not only as a basketball player, but just a better person in life.
I know routines are important. Just talk everyone here through the routine that you and Don and Miles have in your shooting group every day after shoot around.
Yeah, so me, Don, and Miles always shoot with Coach Tanner Smith, and it's serious, but at the same time, we're having fun. We're laughing, we're making jokes, which is all that matters. Getting in good work, but those memories last forever. Like, it's just awesome being able to share those moments with them.
Last one for you. Your favorite shot in your App State career thus far?
I don't know. I think every shot matters. There's been a few probably too far outside of my range, but other than that, every shot matters. Point's a point. They add up. So I don't have a specific one, but
hopefully there's one coming in the next few weeks that you'll remember for a long time.
For sure, for sure.
Chris, appreciate the time.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Chris Mantis joining us here on Mountaineer Talk, kicking off the show. We'll come back with head coach Dustin Kerns right after this. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues next from Learfield.
Covering App State University takes the street. With Carolina West Wireless, Mountaineers get the most reliable coverage on campus and across the country with our high-speed nationwide network. We have all the latest devices you want, including Apple and Samsung. We're so confident in the experience you'll have with us, we're offering a 30-day risk-free trial. Carolina West Wireless is proud to be the official wireless provider of the Mountaineers. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
A winning team is more than the sum of its parts, in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
We'll have more Mountaineer Talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
App State's top-ranked online MBA is designed for you. It's a flexible, accredited part-time program that works with your busy schedule and allows you to earn your MBA in 2 years. Learn online from the same faculty who teach on campus with the unmatched personalized interaction and support we're known for at Appalachian. Your App State MBA is within reach, wherever you are in life. Take the next step. Apply by July 1st at onlinemba.appstate.edu.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. Alongside head coach Dustin, Kerns' comments brought to you by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. And that's Sunbelt Coach of the Year, Dustin Kerns. We'll get to all the recognition for this team in a little bit, but want to start with Chris Mantis, who was on the show a moment ago, and just speak to his impact on the team this season.
Listen, Chris is a really good player. He's a big part of our success. The guy's made 48 threes this year. You know, he made 44 last year in 32 games, so he's made over 100 threes in his career. Once again, 48 this year. He had 5 this past weekend. He's had some big games, some big moments, big 3 in the Auburn win. I could keep going. I think he's going to have a great Sun Belt tournament. But Chris is, a great representative of our program, business major. He's been on the dean's list, comes from a wonderful family, and just a big part of our program. Wonderful teammate. Guys love him. He loves them. He's a big part of our success.
You talk about those threes and some big-time moments of impact throughout this season. You mentioned the Auburn one. I think back to certainly one on the road against Georgia State as part of a big run, an overtime 3 in the corner at South Alabama.
Yeah, about that one. That turned out to be a big one.
Yeah. How much in the moment do you sense momentum shifts when he knocks down a shot?
Well, every time he shoots it, we all think it's going in, right? And certainly he's had some opponents key on him and try to take away his strengths, but he is hit some big threes from us. And even though, like at Marshall a couple weeks ago, which was a big game, the guy had 5 rebounds. Like that's a big deal. And really defended well that game. Had played a lot of minutes, so he's had some big moments for us, and I think he's going to have some big moments coming up this weekend. But 48 threes. That's a lot. That's a lot of threes, and especially in the regular season.
He said that his word for the year was growth. Is rebounding, is that the area that you feel like he's grown the most in this year?
Yeah, certainly. He's done a nice job rebounding. We showed our team a clip of him. He didn't get the rebound. We showed a clip of him on Saturday in our post game against Arkansas State. He went and had a great block out on Nelson, which was one of the top rebounders in the league, and it was awesome to see. And certainly he continues to grow, but just once again, he's an unbelievable person, unbelievable teammate, and a really good player. And I think he's going to have a great weekend coming up.
It's not just three-point shooting, though. You talk about all the different ways he impacts the game. And he was talking about during his time after committing to App State, sitting on his couch and watching your team at that point in 2021 win the tournament down in Pensacola. What do you remember about your relationship with him during that same time period leading up to him coming to campus?
Yeah, we just felt it was a great fit. We loved him and his family. We loved what they were about. And we just had a genuine relationship, through the process. And certainly I remember that. I remember that year we played Charlotte on ESPNU and talking to him the next night, and he had watched that game. But like I tell you, man, just him standing on the court helps our offense. I have seen before standing there, teams have played zone, and I check him in, and when they see him go to the scores table, they change their defense back to, like, it's incredible. Like he got a team out of zone one time by literally going to the scores table. That's pretty big time.
It's pretty cool. All right, let's talk about this past week. Dominant victories against Old Dominion and Arkansas State, and by winning those games, not only do you clinch the #1 overall seed in the tournament, but you win this league outright. You win the 26th game of the season, the most in program history, and you finish unbeaten at home. As you think about those accomplishments this past week, what resonates with you the most of the way this team has performed this year?
Yeah, proud of our players and staff to just continue to meet the moment. Certainly those are a lot of accolades you mentioned there. I think the 15-0 at home is a big deal because we also set an attendance record. And so our fans, our students were a big part of that success at home. And we were a big part of the success by them being at the games. And so I think there's a correlation there. And, that ends up being a big deal. Going 15-0 at home is really, really difficult to do. And, we played really well at home. Once again, we had great support, attendance record. And, you mentioned the program wins, 26 wins. Most conference wins was 16. There's a lot of things. But I thought it was special in the sense of being able to, and I thought our administration did a really good job with the ceremony afterwards on Friday night. So having that, quote, celebration in that moment in front of your fans and our players' parents and everybody there was special, right? That doesn't happen every day, that you get to actually maybe win a championship at home in front of a big crowd of 7,000 people. And so I thought our administration did a great job with, the post, game ceremonies and making that a really, really special night for our players and their families.
You mentioned the parents, and that was something you touched on in your remarks post-game. I would imagine that some of it is simply the fact that you've recruited the North Carolina region really well and that you have a lot of local players, but there's still a lot of players from out of town whose families I see in attendance a lot. What does it mean to you, the way in which families have made it a priority to be there, not only for a moment like Friday night, but consistently throughout the season, the way they've been around this program?
Well, I've said it and I've said it again. We've got great players. Part of the reason they're great players because they're great people. And one of the reasons they're great people is by how they've been raised by their parents. We've got great parents, and that stuff matters. And they were a big part of our success, and they deserve to be recognized and really, excited for them to be able to, celebrate that moment with their kids. We've got a great group. Our parents hang out. They go out and eat together. It's different. It's different. It's not normal. And we're not having a normal season, but it's our parents of our players deserve a bunch of recognition because that they're a big part of our players as far as who they are.
Yeah, it's really special. All right, speaking of recognition, we got to get to all the recognition on the court that this team received today, and we'll do that right after this timeout. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues right after this from Learfield.
To the next level. A zero sugar cola has never tasted this good, but we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test, starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best zero sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Style dinner with our signature fried chicken and country ham biscuits served with traditional southern vegetables, or our classic southern breakfast with such favorites as scrambled eggs, local country ham, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, and more. You're sure to feel right at home at the Daniel Boone Inn. So be sure to stop by in pregame, postgame, or let us prepare your next tailgate at The Rock.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
You, nature lover. Ever heard of us? We're Boone, North Carolina. High up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, with vistas that go on forever. Adventure that never stops, and challenges you've yet to try. We've got every outdoor pursuit you can imagine, and cozy lodging. Explore Boone.
It's game day, a day where great food, friends, and family always come together. And bringing people together is what Harris Teeter is all about. We make sure you have the best and most delicious game day foods. Whether you're heading to the arena or making your own tailgate at home, Harris Teeter is always game day ready. And you can save big on your game day celebration just by joining EVIC. Sign up today and save hundreds of dollars per month on the items you love most. Harris Teeter, let's game day together.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. Head coach Dustin Kerns alongside. Hey, App State fans, Alumni Hall is the official store of App State Athletics. Shop the latest and largest selection of App State apparel, hats, Yeti, and all your game day gear, including brands like Nike, by visiting Alumni Hall on King Street, or shop anytime at appstatesports.com or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, the ultimate Mountaineer shopping destination. All right, Coach, we teased it going into the break. A lot of accolades for your team, and we'll start with you and the staff. Sun Belt Coach of the Year, and deservingly so. But I know that this is a staff award in your eyes. Speak to, we see the X's and O's on the court and the substitutions and, how you play different teams on game day. But speak to all the little things that go into scouting, that go into figuring out what decisions you might have to make during a game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of things, right? But I've always felt like that should be the coaching staff of the year. And, our staff with Frank Young, Bob Zord, Tanner Smith, Brad Fay, Raheem Martin, Connor Agnew, our strength coach, Regina Parquet, Stacey Sears, our academics. I think it's everybody's part of our success, and their families. I couldn't do that without a first-team All-American wife and Brittany and family, and our coaching families that are supportive. But we've got a great group. We've got a great group. They're going to be future head coaches. And, I think, and obviously our players are very, share that award with them as well.
All right, let's run down the list of all the accolades announced today by the Sun Belt, and we'll start with the guy that got an Of the Year award, Justin Abson, Defensive Player of the Year in this league, and I think his shot blocking speaks for itself. Last year set the rookie record. This season sets the single-season record. He's inching close to fourth all-time in just his second season with this program. But I get the sense that it's not only his shot blocking, but his rebounding that's taken a big step forward.
Rebounding, shot blocking, and if he's not blocking and he's alternate, and so his just presence is a big deal. Really happy for him. Being the defensive player in the league, in a league like the Sun Belt as a sophomore is a major accomplishment. And so, I think he was very, very deserving. If you really go back to some games, especially the game at Georgia Southern, a block to help us win a game that in the every game matters, helped us win the Sun Belt, right, like in the regular season. And so, really happy for him, and I just thought he was so deserving.
You also get 3 players on first, second, or third team all-conference awards, starting with Trayvon Spillers and Donovan Gregory on first team, and then Terrence Harcum on the third team. Just speak to the fact that, first and foremost, 3 guys out of your starting 5 end up on an all-conference team. I think that really speaks volumes about the depth that we've talked about all season long.
Yeah, and Donovan and Trayvon and Terrence are very well deserving, right? I thought Donovan, had a Player of the Year type, season. I thought Trayvon had a Newcomer of the Year type, season. And certainly Terrence has put in a lot of work and had a really, really good, conference season. And so all 3 of those guys, very, very deserving to be recognized as some of the best players in this conference. We had Miles Tate, a finalist for Sixth Man of the Year. I thought he was deserving. And then, Jordan Marsh was up for the freshman award. And, it's not too many freshmen that play. And so we had a lot of guys being recognized, but also everybody's valued. Even a Chris Mantis and Xavier Brown, a C.J. Huntley, those guys are valued within our program and a big part of everybody's success. When our team does well, everybody gets recognized.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because I think a lot of times you look down those lists and you go, oh, yeah, that guy, he's their best player, and this guy, he's that team's best player. And, I mean, for you guys, good luck coming up with who's at the top of his scouting report game in and game out, and I would imagine that's a massive luxury for you guys, not only challenging an opponent's scouting report, but also the way in which the ball has no agenda, and you've talked about that.
Yeah, when a ball has no agenda, you can do some special things, and I thought we really shared the basketball well this weekend. I thought we defended well, and I thought we got even better this past weekend. I thought that I thought we left no doubt, right? Like we had a chance. We had to win both games to win it outright, assuming the James Madison. But like we left no doubt, right? Yep. And I was really proud of that.
All right, so let's transition into what's to come. First, what is kind of your balance and how you kind of lead the team in terms of wanting to celebrate such a historic moment, but also not wanting to lose sight of goals yet to be accomplished?
Well, and I thought we've done that in a sense. Like I thought our guys have earned the opportunity to be celebrated and have the moment that they did. We turned the page on Saturday. We came in on Saturday, actually, and did film, knocked it out, and did some shooting and stretching so we could move on. And then gave a typical Sunday off so our guys could enjoy that. We got back to practice today, and we've moved on. We've got more room for growth. We've got to get better. We've got more basketball to play. We'll practice tomorrow, and then we'll head to we'll give another day off on Wednesday, and then we'll head to Pensacola on Thursday and practice once we get down there.
You're going to play either South Alabama or Georgia Southern come Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon back here at home. How does that factor into what you do during practice this week? Knowing that it's one of two opponents, but not knowing which one, what's kind of the focus, or is it just about App State?
Well, today was about App State, but we're going to start turning our attention to both those teams. They both, won a lot of games in this league, right? And so we had overtime games with both of those teams, and so certainly. We will start turning our attention to both of those teams as a staff. And then, certainly after the game on Thursday, we will, lock in with our team. But as a staff, we're working on both those teams right now.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit just as we kind of look towards tournament time and postseason basketball, and there's all this national conversation. And I think just as a sports fan, the nobody believes in us narrative is often overused. But I also think that in this situation where you guys are among the best mid-major teams in the nation and have been throughout the year, and you have prognosticators picking who's going to win the conference tournament, and most of them are saying James Madison, and you have AP top 25 voters, and there are other mid-major teams getting more votes than App State. How does that kind of enter this equation where throughout the year you've had a target on your back within the conference so much, but now as the kind of national spotlight starts to glow a little bit closer on this team, there's still not a lot of belief outside of Boone?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, we just worry about things we can control. We'll use that stuff to fuel motivation. There's always going to be, that sort of stuff. And like I said, we just got to use it as motivation. And quite frankly, none of that stuff really matters and to us. And that's why this team's different. Like we don't care about that stuff. And I think that you can kind of get caught up in that, and you can't. And we've chosen to not get caught up in it. And like that stuff doesn't really bother us. And I just think that that's why this group's different and special. Like there's all these so-called experts out there, right? All I know is this: if you put our resume, if you did a blind resume test, all right, and they put it up on ESPN right now, all right, and we're one of 10 teams in the country that have a winning record against all four quadrants. We're the only team in the country with an undefeated against quad 1 and quad 2. If you put a blind resume up, no logos, I think you would have a lot of people pick our resume, right? Like we beat quality teams, we beat them all year. I think we've won something like 23 of our last, 26 games or something like that. Our defensive numbers were top 10 in several categories, and so but that's why you got to go play the game.
Let's go do it. Coach, appreciate the time all throughout the season. Glad to have you with us here at Ale House on Mountaineer Talk, and let's go win a few more this week.
It's been a great year at the Ale House. Appreciate everybody consistently coming out, same people here, and appreciate the Mountaineers. And Look forward to taking the team down in Pensacola. And once again, this success is shared by a lot of people, and the support by our fans and administrators and all that's a big deal. So we thank everybody. Go Mountaineers, take the stairs.
That's head coach Dustin Kerns. We will shift our attention to App State wrestling right after this. Presented by Explore Boone, this is App State basketball.
A winning in the sum of its parts, in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
Catawba Valley Engineering and Testing is an App State alumni-owned full-service geotechnical engineering, environmental, construction materials testing, and special inspections consulting firm based in Hickory. Maintaining pace with the latest technology and developments allows us to provide cost-effective services. The high number of returning clients reflect their confidence in our staff and our ability to provide quality results. Visit us at cvet.net to learn more. Catawba Valley Engineering and Testing is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
We'll have more Mountaineer talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
What does it mean to be first for teaching? First, we listen. First, we engage. First, we recognize potential. You have what it takes: the drive, the smarts, and the heart to be the kind of educator who changes and inspires lives. 2 million kids are waiting for you, but first, your journey starts right here. Be first. Be an App State teacher. Learn more at firstteach.appstate.edu.
Serving the high country for over 40 years, Blue Ridge Realty and Investments is the #1 independent firm in the region. Blue Ridge Realty delivers exceptional results, handling a full range of real estate services, including sales, rentals, management, and development. Selling or buying? Put our trusted team to work for you. Reach us at 877-962-1986 and at BlueRidgeRealty.net. Blue Ridge Realty and Investments is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. Cody Bond alongside as we shift our attention to App State Wrestling. SoCon tournament here in Boone this weekend at the Home Center on Saturday. So if you're not headed down to Pensacola, it's a perfect time to spend all day long at the Home Center. We'll get to just kind of the format of all of that, but first, Cody, I want to dive into your career a little bit. Year 7 here for you in Boone. What's kept you coming back?
So I think the most important thing that's kind of brought me back is the coaching staff and the culture that we have as a program. Coach Bentley does an amazing job of bringing in guys that really believe in the core values and stuff like that. So it was a pretty easy decision to be able to come back and try an All-American this year.
You've certainly had a successful season, successful last couple of years, but it always hasn't been just smooth sailing in your career. Speak to kind of the ups and downs early on in your career and kind of how the light went on for you and the switch flipped to really commit yourself to this program.
Yeah, I was actually just talking about this with Jimmy Strickland, my old athletic trainer, is that the first couple of years that I was in the program, I was kind of a knucklehead and stuff like that. But I think that the biggest thing is that I kind of believed in those core beliefs that Coach Bentley preaches to all of us every day. So believing in that and then finding time to get individuals and stuff like that with him has been huge because he's put in a lot of time into me over the past 7 years. So I feel like it's a good return to go out on the mat and get the results, not only for me, but for the team as well.
So this season you're wrestling at 149. Last year there was a guy, John Milner. I don't know if people know that name. He was pretty darn good. He was at 149. So what was it like wrestling out of weight last year and kind of that transition back to perhaps a more natural weight for you this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So the past 3 years I've spent was wrestling at 157, and I always kind of felt a little bit smaller than everybody at 157, but I felt really good because I never cut any weight. So this year I made the sacrifice after John left. I was like, I'm going to go back down to 49, give this thing another shot, and see if I can produce the results that John did as well. And I kind of like to me, that was the person that I idolized on the team too, because John was a practice partner that I wrestled with just about every day. So John put in a lot of time into me as well. So I'm very grateful to have him as a teammate and a leader for the past 4 or 5 years. Fortunately, I miss him. I wish we still had him around, but yeah, the transition down to 49 has been pretty easy for the most part.
He's one of a few guys who had some pretty historic accolades leaving the team after last season. What do you feel like has allowed this year's group to really rise to the occasion, fill those shoes, and continue to really do great things on the mat?
I think it's huge because he was a captain for us, him and Will Formato, and they instilled a bunch of their beliefs and leadership skills into people like me and Ike Byers and Tommy Askey and Will Miller and those guys. Like, it's been huge to be on the team with the Johns and Will Formatos and stuff like that. So again, they instilled all those leadership qualities into us, and it was very easy for us to go out and bring in those recruits and stuff, and then kind of pass that on.
You guys have played a really challenging schedule this year, 4 ranked opponents. You guys are ranked in the top 25. How has this slate prepared you for Saturday?
Absolutely. We were actually talking about this in the locker room earlier today before practice. We were battle tested. We were ready. Everything that Coach Bentley does prepares us for the weekend, for the postseason, and having those guys and wrestling those ACC schools and those Big Ten schools and stuff like that prepares us for not only Saturday but for the national tournament as well. So you get to wrestle the best guys in the country early on in the season, and you get to figure out how to wrestle those guys and what the best competition looks like. And if you want an All-American, you got to beat those guys. So what's a better time to do it than during the season?
Well, best of luck to you and the team on Saturday. Should be a lot of fun at the home center. Cody, appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Cody Bond joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. We will come back with head coach JohnMark Bentley right after this. Presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. This is Mountaineer Talk, and we're back right after this from Learfield.
Covering App State University in the area. With Carolina West Wireless, Mountaineers get the most reliable coverage on campus and across the country with our high-speed nationwide network. We have all the latest devices you want, including Apple and Samsung. We're so confident in the experience you'll have with us, we're offering a 30-day risk-free trial. Carolina West Wireless is proud to be the official wireless provider of the Mountaineers. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
You've already come to know UNC Health Blue Ridge as the home of compassionate and high-quality care. Now, with the opening of our $38 million cancer center this fall and a new 6-story patient tower next fall, UNC Health Blue Ridge has become the standard for growth and innovation. The tower project on our Morganton campus will have advanced critical care patient rooms and a rooftop helipad. UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward for the mountain region. Visit us at unchealthblueridge.org to learn more.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
Window World, America's largest exterior remodeler and the official exterior remodeler of App State Athletics, provides exceptional quality windows, siding, doors, and more. They are headquartered right here in North Carolina and have enhanced over 100,000 homes across over 30 counties for over 25 years. Improving your largest investment with energy-efficient products and creating amazing curb appeal is what they do best. From the high country to the Triad and the Catawba Valley to Asheville and beyond. Call, click, or visit Window World, the official exterior remodeler of App State Athletics today.
Mountaineer fans love driving Subarus from Modern Subaru of Boone. And when you buy with Go Modern, you can choose your vehicle, value your trade, pick your payments, apply for credit, even complete your entire purchase online. Or just do the parts you want and pick up where you left off at the dealership. Go Modern puts you in control so you can buy where you want, when you want, and how you want. Get started at modernsubaruofboone.com. Proud supporter of App State Athletics.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. JohnMark Bentley kind enough to join us here on this Monday night, head coach of App State Wrestling. And Coach, as you head into the conference tournament here at home on Saturday, just wanted to look back on this season. You guys have had a tremendous year, 10-4 overall, and your losses have been to really high-quality opponents, 7-1 in SoCon play. I mean, you and I were just talking a little bit about it, but what is it like being able to go up against some of the best programs in the country to prepare you for the tail end of your season?
Well, I think our guys, they can know going into postseason that they're well prepared. I mean, they've faced the toughest competition in the country, and at this point in the season, when you're wrestling, to try to become an All-American or a national champion, you want to have seen some of the guys that you're going to see at the national tournament. And I think that's what all of our guys can have confidence in, that they've all wrestled the teams that they need to, and they're battle-tested, and, everything now is just about feeling good, cutting loose, and letting it fly.
A lot of turnover on your roster this season. Only 4 guys in your starting lineup are wrestling at the same weight class that they wrestled at last year. In your mind, what's the biggest key to your success this year in being able to retool things so quickly?
Well, I think it's our culture. Our team culture is something that we're really proud of, and the guys that come into our program, they come to Appalachian State because they want to compete for championships, and I think that's just expected. Even when we lose, we lost some really high-profile guys last year. We lost 3 NCAA qualifiers, a 2-time All-American, and I don't think many people thought that we would be, competitive, on a national level this year, and so I think for us to have the second year in a row be inside the top 25 at the end of the regular season speaks volumes to the type of young men that we have in our program. And I think it's all about culture. At the end of the day, I think that's what it's about. And that's how you sustain a program that competes for championships each and every year. It's just about building a strong culture and staying true to that.
Well, we just talked to one of them, Cody Bond. What has he meant to this team this season and that bigger picture culture that you're referring to?
Well, Cody's been in our program a long time. I was talking to a couple of people in the crowd a few minutes ago, and they're like, has he really been there 7 years? And I'm like, yeah, he's been here 7 years, and it's in some ways it does seem like he's been here a long time, but in other ways it just feels like it was yesterday that he was a knucklehead freshman that I was having to get in line. And, he's grown up a ton, but he's been a big part of this team, been instrumental in the growth, and our program has definitely grown in his time here, and I appreciate all that he's done for it. And he's still got some things that he wants to accomplish and continue this season. So, he's just had a tremendous journey. His story is unbelievable.
You talk about that growth and over the course of his time, but also this season individually. As you look back to where things started in late November till now, where have you seen the team's growth the most this year?
Well, I think, going into this season, we lost a lot of starters from last year. So we had at least, I think, 4 new starters in our lineup that weren't there a year ago, and some of them were young. And it just, the difference in our team looking back to like that early season match in November when we wrestled NC State, and just seeing the growth and the confidence of those young men, and kind of just having that MAT experience really mattered. And we're a much different team than we were in November. And I think the biggest thing is just kind of, being in the situation over and over again, and knowing that it's expected to compete at a high level when you wrestle for our program. And I think just getting the reps and having those guys in there, I'm just really proud of the way that this team's grown, just the way that the maturity that they've shown, and how they've handled a lot of adversity throughout this season.
All right, we got to take a timeout, but we're going to come back and preview Saturday and what fans can expect here at the Home Center. Hey, future Mountaineers, if you're enrolled in one of App State's 9 partner community colleges, you can seamlessly transition to App State after you complete your associate's degree. This program includes guaranteed admission, dedicated advising, and coordinated financial aid programs. Check it out at aspire.appstate.edu. It's Mountaineer Talk, and it continues right after this from Learfield.
Triple T Pumping has served the residents and businesses of Pumping for more than 20 years. Triple T Pumping services Watauga, Ashe, and Avery County and specializes in both residential and commercial septic and grease pumping and Porta-John rentals. Triple T also has restroom trailers to rent out for special events. To learn more about all of Triple T's pumping services and to get on their schedule, make sure to visit TripleTpumping.com or by giving them a call at 828-262-5745. Triple T Pumping's proud partner of App State Athletics.
For over 60 years, Daniel Boone Inn has been serving Boone and the High Country delicious family-style meals that take you back to your grandma's table. Whether it's our family-style dinner with our signature fried chicken and country ham biscuits served with traditional Southern vegetables, or our classic Southern breakfast with such favorites as scrambled eggs, local country ham, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, and more, you're sure to feel right at home at the Daniel Boone Inn. So be sure to stop by in pregame, postgame, or let us prepare your next tailgate at The Rock.
We'll have more Mountaineer Talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
You, nature lover. Ever heard of us? We're Boone, North Carolina. High up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, with vistas that go on forever. Adventure that never stops, and challenges you've yet to try. We've got every outdoor pursuit you can imagine, and cozy lodging. Explore Boone.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to the show, talking a little App State wrestling here in our final show of the season. Head coach JohnMark Bentley alongside. And coach, your group is hosting the SoCon tournament this weekend at the Home Center, right down the road from your usual venue of Varsity Gym. But let's start there. Just speak to the fan support and the environment that this arena has for you guys, because I know Varsity Gym is something you hold close to your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyone that's been to one of our regular season dual meets in Varsity Gym, it's a really special place. I mean, our guys, you know, they get the luxury of competing through most of the time, standing room only crowds. We have a very hostile environment for visiting teams, and a lot of teams will talk about it. Like, it's a hard place to wrestle. I know when Cornell came to wrestle us, they had wrestled NC State on Friday night, and the coaches, when they got to Boone, they're like, yeah, NC State warned us that it's going to be a hostile environment. But even, you know, the Home Center, you know, it's a great venue. I don't think there's a better place to have a conference championship of any of the venues that I've experienced as a coach. And I think, like, there's some things that are obviously advantageous to have the conference tournament in your hometown, and then there's also some stresses and things like that. But, you know, our guys will get to sleep in their own beds. You know, they have the friendly confines of our locker room, wrestling room, the familiarity of our campus. You know, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fan support come in too, because we'll have a social on Friday night for our fans and our alumni. And, you know, it's a great place to have a championship here in Boone. And, you know, we're excited to be in the Home Center again this year.
So what can fans expect? Because it's a little bit unique in that there's going to be multiple matches going on at once. I'm hearing 3 matches this season, right? It was 2 last year, 3 this year. How does that all work in terms of where fans should direct their attention when things are going on?
Well, any fan that's there on Saturday, what I would encourage you to do is look for the black and gold. When they're out, you're cheering your heart out for them. And when anybody that's in competition for us and the team score, you pull against their guys. So that's the best way.
Simple enough.
Yeah, so pull against the teams that we're competing with to win the tournament title.
You've had a number of guys who have won SoCon titles the last several years, have gone on to the NCAA tournament. If you could kind of pinpoint one or two ingredients that are commonalities between those few guys, what stands out in terms of what it takes to win on Saturday?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and we talked about this today in practice, is just kind of a predator mindset. And that meaning that you just keep your eyes in front of you. You're only focused on what you need to take care of and not be distracted by all the things that can get distracting this time of year. And I think it's the same for any sport. You look at football, basketball, wrestling. This time of year, you need to be locked in and focused on what you're doing, and you can't worry about what the fans are saying, what the media is saying, what your parents are saying. You've got to just lock in and just be focused on what you're trying to do in front of you. And I think if our guys can do that and just take it one match at a time, not worry about brackets, not worry about rankings, not worrying about results in the early season, and just focus on putting their best effort together for 7 to 10 minutes each time, and then once they get to the next round, do it again, and just keep their focus small, just what's in front of them. And I think that's the recipe for getting to the finals and winning on Saturday night.
As you kind of take a step back and you look at your time here in Boone, how would you assess or explain the way in which App State wrestling has grown in terms of its image nationally, the way people talk about App State wrestling compared to maybe how they did 5 or 10 years ago?
Well, I think it all started, and as far as my coaching career goes, I look back to 2012, and that was kind of a breakout year for us nationally. And we had 2 All-Americans, Kyle Blevins and Austin Trotman, that finished 3rd and 4th in their weight classes in the country. And I think ever since that moment, we've been very competitive on a national level, winning dual meets against top 25 teams, producing All-Americans, fairly consistently. And so I think now we've come more of a national name that, like, everybody knows that, we've got a great wrestling program, and they know we're going to be competitive. And as you and I were talking, I think that's also some of the challenge with scheduling, is getting some of those teams to want to come to Varsity Gym and wrestle us. But I think that's kind of what I have seen grow, is that our program has a tremendous amount of respect on a national level. And I think that's, I would say, much greater than it was, maybe 10 years ago.
How have you seen that reflected in recruiting in terms of the guys that are coming to App State and the guys that you're able to go watch?
Well, I think, one of the things when I sit down in my office with recruits and their parents, I think that they know that we have a track record here of developing talent. And they've seen that we can produce All-Americans, that we can produce top 25 program, fairly consistently. And I think that's what a young student athlete and their parents want to know, and also that you're going to make sure they get a quality education. And I think we have all of those here at Appalachian State, and I definitely think that the profile of our recruiting is getting stronger each and every year. And if you just look at some of the depth in our room, you've got guys that we've got guys on our team that are redshirting that have beaten nationally ranked kids this year that are not even in our lineup yet. And so I think that competition is something I've seen grow over the last couple of years. And that's the name of the game. You want to get the best talent that you can find that fits your culture, and then make sure that those guys are buying into the system and doing everything that you want them to do so they can develop and produce championships.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck to you and your group here on Saturday.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
JohnMark Bentley joining us tonight here on Mountaineer Talk. We'll take one final timeout, come back and wrap up the show right after this. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues next from Learfield.
You've already come to know UNC Health of compassionate and high-quality care. Now, with the opening of our $38 million cancer center this fall and a new 6-story patient tower next fall, UNC Health Blue Ridge has become the standard for growth and innovation. The tower project on our Morganton campus will have advanced critical care patient rooms and a rooftop helipad. UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward for the Mountain region. Visit us at unchealthblueridge.org to learn more.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip? Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
Come join us for the best dining experience in Boone at The Beacon. Whether you're looking for a special place to mark an important milestone or just a casual meetup with friends, we've got you covered. Our menu is purposefully created to feature local and seasonal ingredients, artisan cocktails, and the best cornbread in town. Keep up with our weekly live music schedule, rotating menus, and other fun events and happenings by visiting BooneBeacon.com or by following us on Instagram. The Beacon is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
A winning team is more than the sum of its parts in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for joining us here at River Street Ale House. And while we know you're enjoying your time here, make sure to also check out Town Tavern Blowing Rock for great dining experiences. They are open for lunch, dinner, and later, and have 19 flat-screen TVs for you to catch the game. They also boast the largest outdoor dining area in the high country, so make sure to stop by Town Tavern Blowing Rock on your next trip up the mountain. Again, wrapping up the show, men's and women's basketball both in Pensacola this week for the conference tournament. The women left earlier today. They'll be in action at 12:30 on Wednesday afternoon. 9th-seeded Mountaineers facing off with 8th-seeded Georgia State, who they beat here at home just a couple weeks ago for the right to take on top-seeded Marshall. And if they get to that quarterfinal matchup, it would be Friday at 12:30 as well. The men await the winner of Georgia Southern and South Alabama in that similar 8-9 game. The top-seeded Mountaineers will play for the first time on Saturday at 12:30, and that will be down at the Pensacola Bay Center. Our pregame coverage gets you set beginning at noon, and of course, be sure if you're sticking around here in Boone this weekend to check out JohnMark Bentley and his team at the home center all day on Saturday for the SoCon Championships. Now for Alex Francis, back inside our Learfield studios, Matty Yates, who's been awesome all season here at the Ale House. I'm Matt Present. Thanks for joining us here all year long on Mountaineer Talk. We will see you next time.